This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by IBF World Featherweight title mandatory challenger Kid Galahad. Got there in the end. Kid, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm all good, thanks. Good to hear you doing well. An interesting press conference today. What did you make of it?
Yeah, everything expected. He had a rowdy crowd, but it is what it is. Everything expected. That's how it is, isn't it? We're in Leeds, we're in the Lions Den. You got to expect them things.
You mentioned in the press conference that this is the best way to fight for a world title going into the Lions Den. What makes you think like that?
If you want to be, a champion, I don't want it to go any other way. I want to be a champion. I didn't want to, fight for a vacated title. I want to fight a champion. All my career, every time I've got to fight a champion, they've always vacated and gone somewhere else. I believe if he could, vacate and go somewhere else, he probably would. But he can't, and he's in a situation he don't want to be in. So, get in there, and it's going to be a very interesting fight.
I've only seen Josh fight Carl live, and I haven't seen any of his fights in Leeds. From what I understand, from what I've been told, the atmospheres have been very rowdy and have been very, the fans get on top of you and are non-stop. How do you deal with that mentally when you're making your ring walk to the time when you let your hands go?
Yeah, listen, you just get in there, your tunnel vision, you're focused on what you've got to do. That's just how it is. You've got to. I'm against it. I know that. I'm in the Lions Den. We're in Leeds. The referee's against me. The promoter's against me, and I'm going to come out on top.
It's something interesting as well. You say the promoters against you. Is it a different feeling usually? Maybe if you're fighting, you've got either the promoter on your side or you're fighting somebody else who's in the same stable as you. So it's more of a level-headed opinion. Is it different feel to that as well?
It is. It is what it is. It's part of the game. That's just how it goes. If you want to be a true champion, that's what you got to do. And of course, Frank's going to have the best interest for his fighter because he want to get his fighter to get he's already told him to vacate the title, and we could go do this, we can do that, but there was no other options for him. Frank says, "Oh, we can get you final eliminated." He's like, "Well, I'm already world champion. Why do I need another final eliminated for the WBO?" But listen, it is what it is. We're going to get in there, and when I'm finished with him on the 15th of June, he's going to wish that he took Frank's advice.
So talking about the fight then, how does it play out in your head, a round by round analysis?
Listen, Josh is going to do what he does in every fight. He does the exact same stuff. I think everybody, well, especially his last two fights, I think, they both underestimated him, and, especially the Lee Selby fight, I think people thought it was more one-sided than it actually was. It wasn't, it was a split decision. And when he got in there, I think Selby kind of might have underestimated him a bit, but it is what it is. I know Josh Warrington. I'm not going to underestimate him. I want the best Warrington to turn up on the 15th of June, and because the best Kid Galahad's going to turn up, I want no excuses off him after the fight, after I beat him.
A lot has been made about Josh's engine and his work rate. Is that, in your opinion, his only trait from listening to the press conference?
No, listen, there's a bit more than his work rate and the engine. He's actually good at everything. He's not bad, but I believe I'm better than him in every single department. So he might say this and say that, but he's only got a good work. Well, if he just had a good work rate, then he won't be world champion, would he?
You've waited for a while for a world title fight. Do you feel that to make an impact on this world stage, you need to force a stoppage?
Listen, I've got to beat him. I've got to stop him or beat him up very, very bad to get this win, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not going to go in there, and think I'm going to just scrape through and beat them. Then you've got to rip away the title from the champion.
When you did your head-to-head as well, I noticed, Josh was saying some words. What was he saying? And then at the end, what did you go over to?
He was just saying a few things, and I just said to him at the end, I just said, I'll stay off the booze. I could smell the booze coming off his mouth, I don't know, he might be just drinking his sorrows away because Sheffield United, beat Sheffield when beat Leeds United the other day. Probably been on the piss, for the last couple of days. Let's just hope he turns up for the fight. Hopefully, if they don't make the playoffs, then, he might pull out Sikione injured.
Well, I'm a West Brom fan, so I'll keep my opinions to myself on football matters. But I'll have to ask you because it's what's going to do the rounds. They brought up your past with the ban for the drugs. What did you make when it was brought up? Did you expect it to be brought up today?
Yeah, you got to expect them things. Then they, like I said, you're in the Lions Den. They're going to say what they want to say, and they can say what they want to say. It don't really bother me, it is what it is, they're trying to get under my skin, but really all it's doing is getting under his skin. He's winding himself up.
You was asked by one of your audience if you felt any remorse to it, and you said no at the time. Was that just in the heat of the moment, or is that how you feel?
Well, if I haven't done something, why would I feel remorse about? You know, if it is what it is, innit? You know, if I haven't done something, then what am I gonna feel bad about or feel sorry? You know, at the end of the day, there's no other athlete out there who's, you know, got the sentence reduced than me. You know, I never pleaded guilty, and I never have.
So, just to link back to the fights, then you come away with a title. Who have you got your eyes on? Is a Carl Frampton fight something that would interest you?
Listen, it doesn't matter, you know, what's happened after this fight. You know, Carl Frampton in his last fight was doing the exact same thing, thinking about everything apart from the fight. To me, it don't matter, you know, I've got to win this fight. It don't matter what's happening after this fight, the day after the fight, you know, got to go in there and win. I don't care who's or what, you know, I'm fully focused on this fight.
Will we see Eddie on fight night?
Hopefully, you know, he might do, he might not do, you know, he's a very busy man out in the States. If he turns up, it's all good. You know, if he doesn't, then it's what it is, isn't it?
And finally, I just wanted to get your opinion on what you might know about Dominic and Billy Joe's split and Billy Joe's link up with Ben Davison. From what it seems to be anyway, he's linking up with Ben Davison. Do you know anything about the situation?
Not really, no. You know, at the end of the day, listen, Billy Joe's got to do what's best for Billy Joe, and if he thinks that's the best thing, then all good for him. You know, Ben Davies is flying high. He's got a few good champions in. You know, he's looked after Tyson, Fury, and a few different fighters. So listen, it is what it is. You know, if he thinks that's what he needs, if he needs a change, then all go to him.
Well, Kid Galahad, I appreciate your time. Thanks for being to Boxing Social.
No problem, no problem. Take care.